Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Ready? I think that was the one.
Yeah.
Man, that solo piece in the middle.
It's genius.
Like, I got pretty sloppy around there, but was that okay? Was that acceptable?
That was funky. So, yeah, talk about the funk a little bit.
So that was Ace of Aces by
Was it the
Fearless Flyers? Yeah, that consists of Mark Lettieri, Corey Wong, Joe Dart on the bass, and then Nate Smith on the drums.
They always perform with their instruments on stands, and
Yeah.
then they just walk up to them, right?
That's pretty cool.
You think it would be easier if we had those? We just glue it to the ukulele in the back, and then we just play without having to. You think it would change the performance at all?
I don't know. That would be pretty cool if you weren't like you didn't have any strap around you, and then you just kind of sat where you needed it.
Because this can just do whatever
Yeah.
it needs to,
It
and
just-
this.
It's a genius way of not having to move around on stage.
But you got to put something so you can spin the ukulele in between.
Oh yeah,
You have like a column of fours, like
you'd have to install like a black back plate here.
So, you know, with funk, it's like you've got your ninths and your 11ths and you've got your rhythm, right? But like, talk a little bit about the chromatic abilities. When you get beyond the pentatonic,
yeah.
It's like because it's chromatic, or depending on how you look at it. When I was looking at it, it was like you can go major into minor, back and forth if you need, or just do chromatic.
Pretty much. There's like only one note that doesn't. It's hard to make it work, which is a C, right?
Yeah, I guess because C doesn't work.
But everything else is totally fine.
Yeah.
It works if you're playing like an E minor. I think like if you phrase it in a minor way, the C could work.
Possible.
So basically, when you're soloing over this, you got like 11 out of 12 notes.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I mean, it's like it's full freedom as far as soloing goes. The hardest part about the song is the rhythm section and staying so like locked in.
Staying in the pocket, that requires a lot of
The back pocket.
energy. And the gas in my rhythm management machine is
It's blinking.
quite low.
Corey, can you slow down the rhythm that you do?
Yeah, so some key points is the first chord, you're going to just hit an E major. And the key is to keep this. This is the motor. This is the engine in the train, I guess, the funk train or whatever you want to call it. And I will accent every other downstroke. Or, I mean, every downstroke. And with funk, there are a lot of ghost notes. So that's first chord. The chords are, you're going to bar your 4th fret with your pointer. You're going to add your ring finger here on the bottom string of the 7th fret. And that's just that's like a power chord for E major. And you're going to go into this E7 after, which is 4, 2, 4, 5. And right at the very last second, right before you switch back to the E major, I throw in this little like up here, or you could throw in this here. Either one works. So you could do this kind of triplet, which is cool. It just gets a little bit tricky when you're accenting notes because the accent is going to land on your thumb sometimes. So and you could use that. I'm muting ever so lightly with my pinky here and my middle finger here. But then there's muting going on with this finger. So there's muting going on with 3 fingers, but I'm targeting this first note here on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Actually, with this song, you want 1, 2, 3, 4, like really loud, and so the following notes are kind of like, you're almost like doing a half chuck. And that is while keeping this rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. And that lick is kind of modified because on the original lick on guitar goes onto the 5th string and we can't hit that. So what I do is when I get up to here, I'll walk back up. So
there's so much like techniques involved in
and like
just that.
What we do, like 6 solid tries. there were times where we're hitting the intro riff, and like my C note was ringing on accident, or my G. So that's a hard part too. The intro is. But because you want to kind of hit it for every note, not every note. That first note, you have to mute all of it. That's not even the hard part. Kalei's part. Well, it's hard because he's playing the.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much doing like an octave lower than what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then at the right before we started recording, like, hey, let's add some harmony to it. So instead of going like, it's more like. So like, it's all barring, and so instead of going, you're playing these two, like your G and the C strings together on the same frets. So it goes. And because if you do it single lines, this part should go after you gotta add, since we're doing harmony already over here, then when you hit this note, you gotta
hit the
hit the E string
note,
with the C. So from that it goes.
Yeah.
It's funny because like he has like the hard rhythm section, but then I got the hard like unison lick,
Yeah.
Because like what I'm doing is really easy while you're doing all that fancy chording. I'm just going like pretty much barring and going.
Yeah. For the first section, right?
Yeah. So this is the part that's hard for me because we're playing counter rhythms, right?
Yeah.
Like what he's playing is not what I'm playing, but when we're locked in, it works.
It's like two different pockets.
Yeah.
At the same time.
So it's almost like we kind of have to ignore each other, but not just play with each other, but not really like
passive ignoring.
like don't play the same chord as like I would try not to play the same chord as you. Sorry.
It's totally different soloing over something like that too, right?
Yeah, because like I was just like, oh, I could start anywhere and just like I was just like. Because it's like instead of playing like your simple pentatonic blues scale, like and playing or whatever notes are in that scale in a lower octave, you could just start from anywhere that's not C, and chromatically work your way up into a note that's in the chord that's being played. So you could do stuff like, which normally it still will work for a blues, but then because it's funk, it's just like. You just do stuff like.
I feel like some people think, it's pretty easy because a lot of chromatic is involved, and it's like,
no, you gotta be tasteful because if you do stuff like, it's okay, it'll work, but if you kind of like add a little bit more feel to it and more accents on your notes, then you can.
And that part too. So every section was different. So the first part when we played was the. And then Second part, Kalei is playing this. What is this?
Yeah. I'm actually playing this. Like I switch between this chord and your E7, but if you really want to kind of like get like more of like a simplified understanding what I'm doing, I'm mainly accenting this note.
And then walking up with the
Yeah. So I can do like.
And then I was doing this.
And in some of our other takes, I was doing like.
Yeah. That was hard too, figuring out getting that lick down too.
Oh, the timing on all of this is. I think that's the most challenging part. And then they're playing it like way faster than they're like playing it twice the speed as we did.
Yeah.
Like what would be like normal speed? It'd be like.
So, we kind of slowed down.
But at least we stayed kind of somewhat locked.
Yeah. Practice.
You know, it's better that
Doesn't
we
make
slow
perfect.
down than speeding up. Like
Yeah.
slowing down is always better than speeding up.
And it's like maybe it's these low G strings, but sometimes it can get kind of clash because there's so much lowness going on.
Oh yeah. It's funny because like we're both playing low Gs, but you're playing the high G part.
Yeah.
All right, talk about these Ds.
So we actually have the same series tenor. This is the DK-T from Kanile'a. Except mine is with Mastergrade koa wood. Very beautiful. Kanile'a always delivers. Very curly koa top, back, and sides. Rich, chocolatey color mixed with a lot of caramel and got some reddish tones in there too. I don't know, I always do this. The hands must be my Portuguese side. So nice sapwood there. These come with a side port, arm bevel, ebony binding on top, ebony bridge fretboard faceplate, signature D-shaped sound hole, true bracing. We have these strung low G from the factory. And the slatted headstock with the Goto Stealth tuners. So here is what it sounds like. that
D
good?
is for deep.
D is for damn. I should have played that. I'll do that after. Yeah, sorry.
So I got the sister model. All the specs are pretty much the same between these two ukuleles, except this would be the premium Koa tenor. And it's one of my favorite models. I love the D series from Kanile'a. The sound, the sustain, the tone that you get from these is pretty incredible. And I'm always happy to feature these on the podcast. Beautiful premium Hawaiian Koa for the top, back, and sides. Offset sound hole to the side in the D shape, along with ebony binding, top binding, and a side port. And just look at this koa. It's very beautiful. Nice sap strip coming down the middle of the back. Adds a nice accent to the rest of the body and the color tones of this ukulele. We have a thin slotted headstock with the stealth tuners from Goto. Really reliable. Reduces the weight a lot from the headstock, so the ukulele feels a lot more balanced. Satin mahogany neck, as Kanile'a is known for, or should I say silk finish neck. Ebony appointments for the faceplate, the fingerboard, and the bridge pins. And the cool thing about Kanile'as with side ports is you can really look inside and admire like the type of bracing that they use for these ukuleles. Really nice and subtle armrests over here. From the front, you can't really see it, but the minute you look at it from the side view, you can actually see it. Super comfortable to play. Very rich and full sound from these.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
It's funny how
drum.
the air compressor downstairs can kind of influence sound samples.
Yeah, it made me extend it.
Yeah.
I heard it going. I was just like, I'm not gonna stop now.
Right.
I don't want to do it
Get a
again
little
because this
louder.
one sounds good.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be able to remember it because it's all made up.
Yeah, people tell me to title our sound samples, and sometimes it is songs that I should, but more often than not, it's actually not a song.
Yeah, more
99%.
rarely than often.
There's no tabs. I don't know what that song's called.
Well,
Maybe one of you guys.
if
wanna-
any of you guys out there do make tabs, get a hold of me because you're a valuable person, and
Oh,
I
yes.
would love to be able to share more tabs with the community. It's just we're all so busy, and yeah, I mean, it's a talent in itself.
Yeah, it takes time to.
Like Bertrand tabbed out like some of the most intense pieces. I'm like, man, that is a labor of love.
Yeah.
But yeah, the D series truly have a beautiful, deep, rich sound. It's Kanile'a's 25th anniversary, and so they made a special silver edition platinum this year, and we're only gonna have a few of them. I think this is our second, maybe third.
I think 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's check that out.
Thought I had something going.
I was just like, just going with the flow.
I like that.
Like your melody note stays the same, but you're changing from below, or
Yeah. Pondering shop.
so there's a jeweler in town that hand makes a lot of the work on this instrument.
Oh, so it was someone from locally?
It's like
Yeah,
hand. It's heated up and then dropped in.
This is. Every time I look at one of these, I'm always like, "That's nice." I remember when I think it was during the picnic when we were hanging out with Kaimana. Remember we had lunch with him.
Yeah.
So were you there when he showed me the sterling silver rosettes? He had like a package with like a bunch of them inside. I think someone just dropped it off and he's bringing it back to the factory.
So he just had a pocket full of silver rosettes.
Yeah, it's like a bag full of these rosettes. I was like, dude, that is crazy.
He has like a thick chain with the.
And I just remember like looking at these up close. It's like, geez, this is nice. It looks nicer in person. I guarantee you that. Because
he
you
was
can see
asking
all
me
the
about
detail.
doing one in gold. I was like, yeah, somebody's got $1
You
million.
should do like a rose gold with like an ebony like dark theme.
Or just have 3 like, it's a limited edition. You have all 3 colors, and they only make a few of the rose gold ones.
You can do like white gold, rose gold.
It's
What
just
else?
one of those things
Yellow
where,
gold?
like, if you think this is expensive,
Definitely is expensive.
yeah.
I'm trying to like
But,
keep my
yeah.
Oily hands off of
Maybe
the
black
body.
Tahitian pearl.
Look at that koa too.
Jeez. It's like Mastergrade Koa, Mastergrade Silver, you know. It's just, yeah, their 25th anniversary bottle is just so decked out. And I mean,
side port.
yeah.
Side ports.
Side port is shaped as the koa leaf. And it's overall a very beautiful ukulele. The whole body, even the neck, is made out of Mastergrade Koa for the top, back, and sides. And koa necks seem not very common nowadays. A lot of luthiers prefer to use mahogany. For one, it's easier to get and it's very stable. There's something about a koa neck that just screams Hawaiian, you know, and very traditional, authentic, locally made instrument. And the sterling silver is not just on the rosette, it's on the entire fretboard and also the headstock of the Kanile'a logo, inlaid in sterling silver. So this is their 25th anniversary platinum ukulele, only available this year. And from what I've seen on social media posts is that they don't really have any left. So if you're looking for one of these, we may or may not get another one or two before the end of the year. So this is your chance to own a piece of ukulele history. And
very extra 25th anniversary type special.
yes. It just has like this really nice bell-like sound to it.
Yeah, and
It's
the-
not as
the relief
boomy
on
as
the top?
the D series, but oh my gosh, it sounds good.
well, the top relief gives it a different tonality.
Yeah. So the top relief also doubles as an armrest too. If you're wondering how comfortable it feels when you're holding it, and this is something that you rarely come across done on an ukulele, and they do a fine job at it.
I think this model, like the mid-range, just has this glow to it. It's totally.
And the sustain, it has like a more meatier like sound to it, you know. It just pops. Wow.
Trying to remember that one song.
It started sounding like that.
Oh. Yeah, something like that. My bad.
It's a nice song though.
Love that song.
What is that song again?
Say something. Say something. I'll get it up on you.
We covered that once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it on Petro's
It might have been on a
ukuleles?
petrol.
So the sustain on this instrument really makes it nice for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's an incredible uke.
Very much.
All right, let's see what's next.
Sorry. I forgot how to play it already.
So last week we recorded on Wednesday, right when the wildfires had really devastated Maui, and I had mentioned that we were going to start the process of figuring out ways that we could help. And since it's been quite the harrowing week over there in Maui, and even worse than I could have imagined, and any way that you guys can personally look into helping the cause over there is greatly needed. These two instruments are going to go up for auction next week, and all of the proceeds are going to go to, I'll put on the listing, I think it's going to be a GoFundMe, just picking families that look like they really need it for now. But August 16th, teaming up with Craig and Sarah for a live stream that will be coincided with an auction on our site that will have a bunch of different stuff from different builders and more things from us, of which all the proceeds are going to go to Maui Food Bank. It's not normal or fair, this the times that we live in, and the best that we can do is try to figure out how to help each other, especially when craziness falls upon our brothers and sisters. We really have to do our best, because there's not, unfortunately, they're not going to get the help they need unless we step up. And it kind of grosses me out when people use opportunities like this to try to shine the light on them. If I was a rich person, I would just anonymously give to every which way I could, but I'm not. So I need you guys and your help, and we're going to do what we can in ways like this. So look out for these to be on the website at an auction, and we'll post, if you're part of our email system, I'll send out an email. So with that said, let me tell you about this instrument in Kalei's hands. This is a prototype. This is not the finished product, but it is one of a kind in that the final product will be a slightly different body shape. There's going to be a lot of little details, sound hole placements, slightly different. But this is an ongoing project that I've been working on with Ryan Condon and some of the best luthiers I know over in Indonesia. So how this happened was my father, who started and ran Ko'olau and Pono, guitar and ukulele, retired, and Noah, my brother, took over Ko'olau Pono. He was already running it, really. And the Master Series from Pono, I had started 5 years ago with Ryan. We did lattice brace. I really, he built us a lattice brace. I really loved it, so I had him do the blueprints for it, and we sent it over there. We went back and forth. After a few years, we ended up with the Master Series, which, I really loved. And so my dad was like, okay, well, take the Master Series that you did and have them make your own brand. Just change the headstock and change the name. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to do my own brand, I'm going to change more than the headstock and the name. I'm going to really rethink the whole thing. And so some of the differences, it's a slimmer neck. It's a wider nut width. It's 1.5. As you can see, some of the appointments, like the way the rosette's done, the way the side markers are done. And this is like the side port has a nice slant to it. Just little details like that, but it's an ongoing work in I mean, I'm going to just keep going at it. We're going to have an X-Brace series that Ryan's working on too right now. But these lattice, they sound amazing. And, we're going to do a string through bridge. We've got a lot of different things. And I'm just going to keep playing. I mean, that's one of the things that makes my dad awesome, is that he has that spirit of trying new things, like, doing the baritone nuis and, octave mandolins. And, so I'm going to have fun with this brand. Oli in Hawaiian with the okina before the O means joy or happiness. And that's really my mission in this world, is to try to spread joy. And I think this new line is going to give you guys joy and happiness. It's something that hopefully we can get off the ground. But I wasn't even really going to show this. This was probably just going to go in my bedroom. But with the recent events, I thought, well, maybe that's one that I can put towards the cause. And so, yeah. Kalei, maybe you can give us a individual sample on that. And this one has the comfort arm bevel. I did the logo in Photoshop, but then I went to my friend Ajita White, and he's like a graphic master, and we just kind of like fine-tuned that together. But we have I got a number of different ones that I want to go to him with for the different series. This is going to be the Mango series, headstock inlay. But yeah, pretty cool, right?
Yes, it's comfortable. Sounds really good.
This just has the nylon strings. I'm actually gonna, for the series, I'm gonna be working with Joel with his uke Logics.
Oh,
so they're gonna come stock with a certain uke Logics that we're gonna play around with it.
Nice.
And yeah, probably have UBTs and different things as well. But this one is a one of a kind for whoever wins it, and can't go to a better cause. Correction, it is going to be September 16th for the Craig and Sarah concert. Yeah. And you guys will hear more news about that as it comes up. Okay, go ahead.
Mango is nice and curly.
You know, after building with Kolau for nearly a decade, I started this business, and for the last 19 years now, I've been dealing with all the different brands and customers and hearing what you guys like and don't like. And so I get to factor all that kind of stuff in for this line, and it's kind of exciting for me. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate your guys' help along the way, showing them off.
I'm excited. Would you do some guitars as well?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Sky's the limit.
I was just talking to them actually about doing a small classical in the lattice.
Oh, yeah.
What would a steel string guitar sound like?
With a lattice brace? Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no.
can it handle?
No.
Oh, dang it. Too much power for one guitar. You know, as much as I would want to like change the strings, it still sounds really good with the Alohi's on.
Yeah, if I had more time, I would have changed them, but
It sounds good.
then it's like, well, whatever. It's, you know, that's why like really good sounding instruments, they kind of just sound good
Yeah.
with whatever.
No matter what strings you put on, as long as it's not a defective set, it'll work.
One of my beefs with titaniums is they kind of go out of tune with heat.
Yeah, or cold. Like the minute you leave the room, it's like, or
Yeah.
going up.
All right. So look for that and more to go up in benefit for the tragedies in Maui. We're going to close out tonight with a couple unique Kinnards.
Oh, I didn't know we had Kinnards.
All rosewood.
Oh.
What kind of rosewood?
East Indian?
Legal Rosewood.
It's the,
We'll check the specs.
You know, it's funny when, like, you said, oh, I'm going to play it in the original key. You took a breath. Like, I was like, oh, he's going to sing. I thought you were going to sing. I was like, whoa.
I forgot the words.
That was
A mixture of Ghibli and Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
And
Say something.
yeah.
I was like, wait, are we going? Are we going there? It's like, say
Oh,
something.
that would sound really nice. Do you remember how to do that? All right. One more song? No, I was kidding.
I was like, how the heck do I still remember that? I only played it that one time, and that was it. Like the last time.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like,
Rosewood is not a common soundboard wood, but in the hands of a really talented luthier like John Kinnard, it sounds great and such an elegant look to these two.
it is super classy.
Kalei, why don't you go first?
So the Kinnard, or the tenor that I have from Kinnard is pretty much all built from East Indian rosewood. The entire body, top, back, sides, bridge, fingerboard, faceplates. The only thing on here that's pretty much not radius besides the hardware, or rosewood besides the hardware, would be the ebony that's used for the rosette, and the neck, which is made out of mahogany. So everything else is rosewood, and it's very uncommon to come across ukuleles that are built out of a wood that's typically used for the back and sides. And there is a reason. It's usually because the rosewood is much more denser type of wood, and you usually would want to pair it with something light on the top so that you can keep the sound reverberating in the body as it pushes it out through the sound hole. But this is a very exceptional ukulele. Normally you would think, because it's rosewood is generally very dense, that you won't get too much resonance. But like Andrew said, with the right luthier, you'll get a very beautiful masterpiece, no matter what you build it out of. I like this right here on the 12th fret marker. That's pretty cool.
Little
Yeah,
artistic touches like that.
that's something you don't see. And then, as you can tell, this one has no fret dots on the fretboard.
Well, they kind of creep over though, right?
Yeah, but I don't really look over. I just kind of look on the side, which is great because it's a good habit to kind of just look down instead of trying to look over.
The Z headstock.
Yeah, this is like this is kind of like his signature patent headstock, right, for ukulele.
Yeah, and it's really smart because it gives that straight line to the tuner, and there's a lot of benefits to that.
Oh, more sustain.
Like you don't get binding where like it'll kind of get caught up in the nut a little bit as you're tuning, things like that. But yeah, very cool.
Because this is usually done a lot on guitars, right? Acoustic guitars. This type of, like how it's just going straight. It's not really like off to the side.
A lot of times you'll see that with like a snakehead
Nice.
design on guitars, but never like this. This is quite unique.
With
to
this
Kinnard.
headstock, you can spot a Kinnard from a mile away because it looks so cool.
It's the Z stock.
The Z. Oh man.
Tonally, quite clear.
Yeah.
Like crystal.
Crispy.
Excellent separation.
Very much. I mean, it's like
What does it smell like?
roses.
Hence, Rosewood.
So Corey's got one with a little bit different type of rosewood.
Yeah, so this tenor features Honduran rosewood on the top, back, and sides. And the design here, right at the bottom of the fretboard, is a depiction of, I guess, Isla Roatan. It's an island off of Honduras. I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. The theme of this ukulele is sunrise at Isla Roatan. And it's a very attractive design, as you can see. The coloring it blends very well with itself. You got dark rosewood top, back, and sides. You got binding as well. The neck has like this cool stain to it that matches the body. Satin finish. You got a really nice back strip going down the fretboard. Side port. This has X bracing. Radius fretboard, ebony bridge, fretboard faceplate. Speaking of faceplate, this is the signature Kinnard headstock, kind of like a Z shape, which is cool. All the tuners after the nut, the way it's placed this way, it allows for the string to be completely straight, which will prevent what's called binding in the nut slots, allowing for easier tuning and just less hassle overall. So through bridge, string through bridge. This is a very elegant looking ukulele. It's a lot of designing, as you can see with the rosette, the offset fret dots, even the headstock, back to the headstock again, all the way to the back strip on the neck. This thing is gorgeous. The sound is surprisingly very clear and crisp. Like Andrew was saying, not anybody can build an all rosewood ukulele due to its density. It's, sometimes it's hard to get a good amount of resonance out of it. But, if you're an experienced builder, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly how to tune the top and, put together very great sounding and looking instrument. So check it out. This is the Honduran Rosewood tenor from Kinnard.
Some Peter
Some-
Moon.
Yep. Off the island of Honduras. Isla Roata.
To all of you who watch our videos, I love you. And to all of you who support us by shopping at the ukulele site, I am eternally grateful. You can bug me for life with anything ukulele, and we're always glad to help. Corey's always there for you too.
Yeah. Anytime you have any questions, you want to pick my brain, please bother me.
Corey at the ukulelesite.com. Kalei's up at the shop during the week.
If you're on island, please come and bother Kalei.
Stop by the store, say hi, check out some ukuleles,
Buy him a drink,
and a whole
maybe
bunch
some
of
lunch.
goodies.
All right, Corey, why don't you send us off?
All right. Thank you for tuning in to this week's podcast. I'm not good at this. Obviously, I'm not good at this. Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast. Our hearts go out to all of those that were affected in the wildfire on Maui. Please check out the link that we have to the fundraiser. And yeah, thank you for all your support. We'll see you guys next week. Mahalo.
Ah.